Robbie here from AFTV. Back in the studio after being at the game today, and I've got to say, man, what a poor performance by Arsenal today. What a poor performance. Burnley at home. Now, listen, never discount any team in the Premier League. It's always going to be difficult. We saw over the weekend Southampton getting a point against Man City and stuff like, certain surprise results like that. But Burnley, bottom of the table, haven't played for weeks. There for the taking. We know what they're going to do. It's going to be a low block. They ain't going to show no ambition. They want a point, and fair play to them. They need a point. They're fighting against relegation. Don't expect them to come and be expansive. And we played right into their hands. Non-existent in the first half. Better in the second half. But why leave it to one half? Poor performance today. Let's get straight into the player rating. Starting off with Aaron Ramsdale. A little bit shaky on a couple of occasions today. His distribution wasn't as good as it usually was. And even he really was a little bit flustered today because he knew the significance of the game. 6 out of 10 for Aaron Ramsdale. Not his greatest, but not his worst. He didn't do anything wrong. I think there was one time when he nearly made an error. There was another time when he rushed out and made a really good header, to where he showed a lot of bravery. So 6 out of 10 to him. Going to the right-back position, Ben White. Poor there today for me. I know he's not a right back, so it's really hard to criticise him. But he never made no overlapping runs. I mean, he basically, you want your right back to be like a wing back. And he didn't do any of that today. He didn't even attempt to do that. He just basically played a bit like a centre back, but he was just a little bit further forward. And offered nothing, offered no help to Saka really on getting beyond. I think there was like one time he got beyond, but he needed to do that more. But I guess he's not a right back, and you can see that. Why Mikel Arteta didn't bring on Callum Chambers later on in the game, I really don't know. But I'll give him below par for me, so it's got to be a 4 out of 10. Moving to, let me go to the other side again. Left back, Kieran Tierney. Below par again. Another guy. Now, this is a bit unlike Ben White. That is his position. You do expect him to get beyond Martinelli and he just looks so out of sorts today. I mean, there was one time when they created a nice little chance right on the edge of the box and he just blasted it over the bar. And again, a guy who normally sets a high standard but was below par today. 4 out of 10 for Kieran Tierney. Not his greatest game at all. Gabriel, didn't really have a lot to do, to be honest. And what he did, pretty well, but they didn't really attack much. So he didn't really have much to do. 5 out of 10. And I guess similar for Rob Holding. They didn't really attack much. I do want to see Rob Holding, though, sometimes pick the ball up and drive out. That's what you need to be a bit braver on the ball in games like this. You can't just keep getting it, passing it, getting it, passing it, because they're a well-drilled machine. So, yeah, 5 out of 10 for him as well. Moving into the midfield, what we had of it. But Sambi Lokonga, I thought, he did all right. He tried. He was the only one in midfield. It's really difficult for him as a young kid coming in. Obviously, it would be playing on his mind. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to give the ball away. And he sprayed a couple of decent passes and that, but listen, I don't think he had particularly a bad game. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Martin Odegaard was quiet today. There was little flashes, but I wanted to see more from him today. Too quiet, needed to create more and didn't create enough. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 as well. Who else was in midfield? Emile Smith-Rowe did a brilliant run, set up Lacazette. Lacazette didn't bury it. But again, in general, was a little bit quiet today. You can see a guy that's still not fully fit yet. That's what, and it was no surprise that he was like the first person to come off. But he tried today. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 as well. Martinelli, again, the effort's always there, but was so isolated today. And as I said, every time he got the ball, they doubled him up, and he had no help out wide. He had no overlapping runs from Tierney. He put a couple of good, decent balls and crosses into the, but he didn't really get a chance to ever get. He never ever got a decent ball into him where he could run in behind and stuff like that. And 5 out of 10 for Martinelli. On the other side, Saka, I think he was the only threat in that game for me. Martinelli was a bit of a threat, but I think the only constant threat was Saka. And by the end of the game, he was absolutely shattered. We know that he didn't train last week before that Liverpool game. We know he's been carrying a knock. He got hacked down so many different times in the game. Probably the best of the Arsenal players today. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Nobody can get beyond that today because the performance was so poor. And then Alexander Lacazette, he missed that absolute sitter. Come on, in tight games like this, you might get only one chance. And when that chance comes, you've got to take it. And he didn't. He put it, the goal was gaping. How did he put that wide? It's one of the criticisms of Alexander Lacazette. Great striker, work rates there, everything. But he's just not clinical enough. And he wasn't clinical today. And, and there was another time he ran through. Great run, but again, off target with a shot. It's small margins, but he didn't do it today. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 10 today as well, below par. Substitute who came on, Eddie Nketiah, ran around. That was it. Made absolutely no impression on the game whatsoever. It's not a lot of time to do anything, but nothing, zero impression on the game. So 4 out of 10 for him, and that was the only sub we made. Moving on to Mikel Arteta, why was that the only sub we made? Why didn't you bring on Nuno Tavares? You could see that Tierney was struggling. Why not bring on Nuno Tavares with his directness and pace, see if he can run at those tired Burnley defenders? He didn't do it. Why not bring on Callum Chambers on the other side who can get beyond, understands the right-back position a bit more? He didn't do that. I didn't get it. Why were we so flat in the first half? Poor from Mikel Arteta today. He has to take a lot of the blame for that performance, even though Lacazette should still probably have won it. But why would we be so below par? 4 out of 10 for Arteta. The referee today, listen, he allowed Burnley to waste so much time. But listen, they all do it. These goalkeepers, I've never seen anyone get sent off for wasting time. That's the thing. And so, I didn't expect him to do that. But they wasted so much time. Referee, 5 out of 10. Fans today, I have to give them an 8. What can I say? They tried to get behind the team, but it was such a frustrating game to watch. Burnley done a job on us. They came, they frustrated us. They wanted a point. They got a point. They deserved a point. We deserved nothing. Can we get top 4 on performances like that? The answer has to be no. We've got to get a lot better to have any chance of even getting top 6. With performances like that, we won't get it. So this is a big wake-up call now for Arteta and Edu. Try and get a striker in. Get some signing in this January transfer window that will excite the fans and lift us, lift the mood, because now we're going to have to kick back for 2 weeks and lick our wounds after such a... imagine if we would have won today, what the lift that would have given us going into the rest of the season. We've got to get top 4 this season, but that was poor.